Hey everybody, it's me Vincent, and today I'm coming to you with a guide on which rides to skip here at Universal Orlando Resort. As time moves on and these parks get bigger and bigger, there are more things to see and do here at the parks. And if you happen to show up here in a really busy time of year where every single ride has an hour-long wait, that ambitious plan of trying to see everything Universal has to offer might not actually happen, and you might actually have to narrow it down to a certain amount of rides, especially if you're only here for one day. I want to make a video for those of you who are coming to Universal with limited time to help you figure out which rides here might not be worth the time. So welcome to the latest episode of Vincent Vision. Wachow! Okay, so before we even get into this video, I should just say, first of all, one, this is just my opinion, and two, everybody comes to Universal Orlando for different reasons, okay? And different rides might be worth it to you versus others. Like, for example, if I'm someone who's afraid of roller coasters, I'm not gonna wanna ride any of the giant roller coasters here at Universal. I'm gonna skip those. That's gonna save me time. Or if I'm here with little kids or small ones, I'm not really gonna wanna ride any of the small children's rides, so I'll take those off my list. The intention of my video is to give you guys the most well-rounded Universal experience, sort of like the best of the best. This is all just my opinion. This is all just based off my experience in the park. Let's just jump right into it. We're starting off at Universal Studios Florida. First ride on my list of things worth skipping is Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Studios. This is one of Universal's big roller coasters. It is very thrilling, it is very exciting, but it can get a really long line, and I think compared to all of the other big roller coasters at Universal Orlando, I think Rip Ride Rocket kind of ranks down there at the bottom. Hagrid's Velocicoaster and the Incredible Hulk are a lot more exciting, a lot more awesome, and not as rough. Rip Ride Rocket will shake you good. It is a very, very rough roller coaster, and while it has some unique elements to it, I just think if you're only here for one day or a limited amount of time and you want to do roller coasters, go over to the other park. Islands of Adventure has a lot more going on. But if you are here for the roller coasters and you have a kid who's maybe not tall enough to ride the Hulk at 54 inches, but tall enough to ride the Velocicoaster and Rocket at 51 inches, you should check it out. It's worth seeing. The next one on my list, which is on a lot of people's lists, is Fast and Furious Supercharged. This ride here is a simulator ride where you get on a big old bus and it bumps you around to make you feel like you're going fast. And I think for a Fast and Furious ride, I don't think this is what people expect going in. It's not very intense. It's not even that action-packed. There's only really one like big action thrilling scene, and it's at the end of the ride. The whole first half of the ride is just them like talking at you. It's not very exciting for being based off of one of the most exciting action franchises of all time. There's also another version of this ride at Islands of Adventure called Skull Island Reign of Kong, which is, in my opinion, a much better big trackless Jeep experience. It's the same thing as Fast and Furious, just done better. It's a more full ride. There's animatronics, there are multiple scenes, it's a very cool ride, and I think and if you had to only do one of those types of rides, the King Kong experience is a lot cooler than the Fast and Furious experience. But you should see Fast and Furious if you have kids who aren't tall enough to ride roller coasters, or if they just really love Fast and Furious, because it is not a very thrilling ride. If they're nervous about doing something a little bit more extreme, this is a good place to meet them thrill-wise. This next one here is a little bit more of like a situational skip. It's actually a really cool ride experience, and it serves a very useful purpose in the park. It gets you from one park to the other. But if it has a really long line, I would advise to skip the Hogwarts Express and just walk to the other park instead. Like, for example, right now as I'm recording this, the Hogwarts Express behind me is an 80-minute wait, which is very, very long. I promise you it takes 15, maybe 20 minutes to walk to the other park. That's gonna save you a lot of time, okay? It's always gonna be a better move to walk over to the other park if the Hogwarts Express has a really long wait. That is, unless, of course, you are a very big Harry Potter fan. Skip it if it's got a really long line and you don't really care to take the train. Otherwise, you should see it if you are just a big fan of Harry Potter and you want the full Harry Potter experience. So the next one on my list is the Simpsons Ride. Now, I know there are a lot of big fans of this particular attraction. It is a really fun, bumpy simulator, but I think if you're having a full day at Universal Studios, You've already done Minions, you've already done Jimmy Fallon, you've already done Transformers. That is 3 simulators back to back to back to back. Simpsons is just one other simulator that this park has, and there are already enough simulators here, in my opinion. And also, out of all of them, it is really, really intense. Like, if you are someone who gets dizzy on these types of rides, Simpsons will get you good. For the sake of variety, Simpsons can be a skip unless you are a very, very big Simpsons fan, or you are just trying to ride simulators and avoid roller coasters. Okay, I'm gonna kind of shout over for this one because it's really loud. SpongeBob just came out and I don't want to wait 20 minutes for his little dance party to end. This really isn't a ride, but it's something worth a skip. It is Mel's drive-in for food. This is really just like a cheeseburger, French fries, milkshake spot in the park. It can be really, really busy during the lunch rush. I think there are so many other better places to eat in the park that are gonna be a lot more unique, a lot more fun, especially during the seasonal times of year like Mardi Gras and Christmas time. There are so much more food options around the park than just like theme park burgers and fries. But it's good for kids, good for picky eaters, and it is an indoor AC area, so like I get why people would want to eat there. But we're gonna get on out of here now. Those are all the rides that I'd recommend maybe skipping at Universal Studios. We're gonna head over to Islands of Adventure. In fact, we're gonna walk over to Islands of Adventure. All right, hey, we're here at Islands of Adventure now, which, by the way, I put the timer on my watch from when I left the Universal turnstiles to the entrance of Islands of Adventure. It was about a little under 5 minutes. Going back to like the situational skip of the Hogwarts Express, that should give you an idea of how long it actually takes to get to each park when you're not taking the train. It is very little. But we're here at Islands of Adventure. We're ready to go down the rides. Seuss Landing, it is like a skip in a way. If you don't have any kids here, none of these rides are for you. Don't waste your time. Go do some other stuff. The 2 big rides here are the Cat in the Hat and the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley. And while they're both pretty fine on their own, they are much better enjoyed if they have lower weights. Like, if you waited an hour for the Sky Trolley and you didn't have kids or you didn't know what you were getting yourself into, I'd feel really bad for you because, well, it is a fun, great view of the park. That's all it really is. And Cat in the Hat is a really great dark ride. It's good to get some AC on a hot day like today. It definitely serves that purpose, but it is definitely a very traditional, slow-moving, dark ride. Nothing crazy is happening. So this area here is good for families with kids, maybe people who don't want to do any big crazy rides. But overall, if you're here at Islands of Adventure to ride things like the Velocicoaster and Hagrid's and all the Harry Potter stuff, go ahead and just skip Seuss Landing. It'll save you a lot of time. So here in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, there are no rides that are worth skipping. These are all of Universal's biggest draws. These are all the major attractions here in the park, and they are some of the best. But I guess if you had to skip one, it would probably be Flight of the Hippogriff, just because it is sort of a smaller family-style roller coaster. Especially if everyone in your group is tall enough to ride Hagrid's motorbike adventure, Hippogriff can get a very, very long line for what is a very short roller coaster. It is definitely geared towards like families with smaller kids. So unless you are a family with a small child, don't worry about Flight of the Hippogriff. Unless you're also like a completionist and you want to do every single Harry Potter attraction, then you can go ahead and jump on Flight of the Hippogriff. But if you don't get to see it, don't worry about it. Hagrid's motorbike adventure is so much cooler. Toon Lagoon is home to Islands of Adventure's wettest water rides. And unless you like getting drenched and are prepared for it, I would say just go ahead and skip this whole land. Popeye and Bluto's and Dudley Do Right are 2 really awesome water rides, and on a hot 90-degree summer day, they can really, really hit the spot. But if you are not prepared to get your pants, your socks, your underwear, your shoes wet, all that stuff, these rides have the potential to ruin your day. So these for me are a skip. Jurassic Park River Adventure is a just as fun water ride here at Islands of Adventure that gets you just the right amount of wet, in my opinion. I think that is the way to go. These 2 here will get you absolutely soaked. So if that's what you're looking for, go for it. But you'll just be like those guys over there. I mean, they're having fun, but you know, you might want to skip this one otherwise. Marvel's Superhero Island is a very popular part of the park with Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk coaster. There's also Dr. Doom's Fearfall, which is a fun ride, but only if it has like a 5 to 15 minute wait. Anything more than that and you start to teeter on the edge of something that can be skipped and you won't be missing very much. It's a really fun ride. It shoots you up, you fall back down, but it's also like super short. It's like really, really short. And if you wait an hour for this ride, you will be on a 30-second ride. You're literally gonna be waiting an hour for a 30-second ride. If it went back down and then like shot you up one more time, I think it would be a little fun, but it just shoots you up once. It is thrilling, but it is very, very short. I think you could use that time waiting in line for much longer thrills, like the Incredible Hulk, which is right next door. But I think a ride like Doctor Doom is good for those who come to Universal looking for thrills. And in that regard, you shouldn't skip it, even though it is very short. And there you have it, folks. These are the rides that I would recommend crossing off your list if you need a little bit more time to wait in line for the Harry Potter rides here at Universal. And it's not to say that these rides are bad by any means. All of the rides at Universal are great. Just like I said at the start of the video, there's so much to see and do here at Universal that you probably should try and spend at least 2 days here, or visit in the off season when you can get on these rides a little bit quicker. But if you can't, and you're here for 1 day and you want to make sure that you're seeing the best of what Universal has to offer, these are some rides you can do away with. And just save them for next time, because they are great and they are fun. And I mean, like, who doesn't like getting soaked on Popeye's Bill Drab barges or Dudley Do Right? I do. It's really hot. I wish I could do that right now, but you know what? I'm not prepared. So I'll save it for my next trip. Skipping them today. Thank you guys for watching VincentVision. I hope this video helps. What are some rides do you think people should skip that I didn't mention? Do you think I talked about something that people should not skip? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Elevator. Beep. Bye-bye.